Welcome to 2024, everybody. This is the Wild Ass Podcast, and I am your host, Wild Ass Craig. This is episode 39, and for this episode, we are doing our first installment of the MonstercASSt for 2024, where we'll continue to run down the last few months and talk about the 4 months ahead. The first Monday of each quarter, I'm using the Wild Ass Podcast to keep all of you up to date, not only on what the Mile Monsters have been up to, but what they have coming in the next few months. In the previous MonstercASSt, we got a recap of what the Mile Monsters were up to in the third quarter and what was the plan for the fourth quarter of 2023. For this episode, we'll see how that plan worked out and what the plans are as we roll into the new year. I am again with Riot, so let's get this underway. Riot, welcome back to the show.
Man, thanks for having me. I cannot believe that a year has come and gone since we started this. I appreciate the opportunity, to be on and kind of showcase what the monsters have coming up and what we've done, because every year it just gets a little busier and busier and busier. So, thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to have you on, and I agree completely with how fast this year has gone. And it seems like the more stuff we have to do, the faster time goes by.
Yeah, it sure is. It's so full. The schedule's so full that in a blink, a month goes by. In a blink, 2 months. And pretty soon we're sitting back here at the beginning of the year and coming off of Christmas. It's hard for me to fathom the idea Christmas has passed when it's 55 degrees at my house and I'm out golfing before Christmas. So I'm not really, haven't realized Christmas is come and gone. It still feels like it should be early fall, not New Year.
Yeah, so similar here in Minnesota, we had a snowfall early. So the big parking lots, they push all the snow into the giant piles. Well, from before Christmas all the way through Christmas, it rained, and doing some shopping afterwards, you see these piles of snow and it's raining. It feels like springtime. And what's crazy is not only is the grass green again, at the time of recording, the frost has left the ground in my yard and the lilac bushes are budding.
That's crazy. In Minnesota, to have that is just, for a lot of people who don't understand Minnesota, you get winter early and it stays late. Usually this time of year, you don't see anything blooming. The deer are scrounging around for food typically.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that this doesn't mean it's going to push it back into April and May.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens. The old saying, if it comes in like a lion, it goes out like a lamb. If it comes in like a lamb, it goes out like a lion. So get ready for a spring of staring at your motorcycle, begging for the nice weather to come. You're going to pay.
Well, we're going to be talking about the end of the first quarter, and this boy and his motorcycle are going to be headed south at that point. So bring it.
Yeah, down south, in Daytona, it's going to be nice. That's one guarantee in life. It's going to be riding season down there.
That's right. So what we're here to talk about, like I said in the intro, was your calendar. Let's wrap up last year, finish up. And I don't remember at this point now because what seems like yesterday was 3 months ago, and I can't remember, did we talk about the quarter or just the previous month? I think it was the previous month.
Yeah, we hit a little bit about the quarter, but really last quarter, it was really the previous month is all we had anything going on. October, November were pretty chill, a lot of family time in there. But December, that kicked off our busy time and back at it again. So, to start the month off, we had Drew's birthday. Drew is one of our heroes from Pennsylvania. He had a birthday on the 1st of December, so that kind of kicked off the craziness. And that was also the first day of our 13 days of Christmas, which ran from the 1st of December until the 13th. And that was a really cool event that we had, that one of our heroes, Gavin, down in Texas, had the idea for. And for 13 days, we spun a wheel and gave a prize to anybody who donated was eligible for a prize. So we had 13 prizes to our monsters, and then we had 11 new kids that we sent Christmas presents to. So that was pretty epic in itself, on top of our 5 heroes who got a basket full of things as well.
That was very cool, and that is an event that I'm assuming will continue on to get us in late into 24 again.
Correct. That was such a big hit. I instantly put it on the calendar, and we're going to do that again next year. To have 11 strangers, kids that we did not know, that did not have monsters in their life, to see their Christmas get lit up. And some of them were, a little rougher shape financially, and to see the joy in their eyes as they opened their presents up and got things that they could only dream of from complete strangers in the motorcycle community really made it epic. And that's really what we're all about. We want to help these kids live their best life. And I can't imagine another way that they can do it, other than having a great Christmas. If that doesn't help you live your best life, there's not much that will. So that was pretty awesome. And I can't thank our supporters and our, team of people for doing such a great job and donating to it. We raised nearly $7,000. We spent over $7,000 on gifts for these kids, and just really, really special to see that. And, there really are, these kids, our 5 kids, they're family. So that's what makes it so unique and so special.
As we roll through Christmas, it's cool to see some of those pictures now surfacing of what the kids got and sharing the excitement that we all got to provide them.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm still getting pictures in now. I just got some pictures this morning. So that's pretty special. And I like to share that. I'm blessed with a front row seat to the kids and to the monster world. But I like to share what I experience and try to relay that to the people so every sponsor can feel the same joy and satisfaction that I get to feel every day when I see this stuff. So that makes it really fun.
For sure. I'm not jealous of your position there.
That part is a lot of work, but boy, is it rewarding.
Absolutely. So after the 13 days of Christmas, I noticed we had Elfie's Winter Wonderland. That proved to be a good thing.
Yeah, they had a fundraiser in Ireland, and what they did was their Winter Wonderland, but they were able to raise a lot of money, and they were chosen by a specific group to be the recipient of €1,000 prize for Elfie. So that was pretty cool. I like to see all the pictures of that.
I don't know what the American to Euro amount is, but I'm guessing that's right around $1,200, $1,200 or $1,300. So that's really cool.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, that's really cool. So that's it goes a long ways to helping Elfie afford to get here to the States for the treatments that keep him doing so good. The treatments are really incredible, and they really help him a lot. So he really, really benefits from it. And without that kind of events and the help he gets from people, it wouldn't happen.
For sure. So tell us about the new calendar. It's out. It's been delivered. I have my copies. I was excited to see it come.
Yeah, I think they really turned out good. We had a little delay because originally I was going to kind of copy last year's layout and theme. And then in the last minute, I just had a change of mind, so to speak. So what I did was revamp the calendar, redid it, and it is what it is now. And whenever I do anything, when I see it, I'm always like, I wish I would have done this or that. So it's a never-ending cycle of things I'd like to change. And I'm already putting notes on my office calendar about what I'd like to change for next year. But just to give everybody a basic rundown of it, every month this year has our rides listed. Last year, on the first of every month, I posted it online. So you had to go to the website to see what the ride was. But then I got a lot of feedback from riders and from supporters that, live in different places and can't ride. And they wanted a chance to plan things a little bit better and make it a little more epic. So I kind of dug that idea instead of having a surprise. So this year, every month has the monthly ride listed. So then if you're into our Monster Miles, on our website, then if you're into that, you can plan your ride ahead of time. And another thing we're going to do is the rides that you do every month will be available throughout the year. The difference is if you do them on the month that they're out, you get more points. But if you live in a northern tier state like you do and you miss January and February or January, February, March, you could do those 3 in the summertime and still get the certificate for them. You're just going to lose a little bit of points because you couldn't do them the month of. But that was kind of a good compromise. And the other thing we added was a quote of the month. I reached out to a bunch of people, got some quotes. Not everybody's made it because I don't think yours made it in. The quote I got from Craig here, because when I got done with the calendar, I was adding these in and I ran out of room and I had to go to print the next day. I'm like, I'm not redoing anymore. Like, this is it. This is where it is. And it's going just like this because they had me booked to print for a day. So there's like 4 that didn't make it, but it is what it is. I do the best I can sometimes, and other times things get shuffled aside. But the other thing we have in here that you'll notice, if you go through the calendar, you'll see different monsters are listed on their birthday. Like Twister is March 5th, D Woods is the 16th, and honors is the 20th of March. So we have 3 in March alone. We have 13 monsters in the calendar. Their birthdays are listed. What we're going to do is every year add 13 new monsters. So there'll be 13 people added next year on top of the 13 we have this year. So next year there'll be 26 people in our calendar with the goal of every day of the year to have a monsters picture in there having their birthday. That's our goal, that we have 365 days with somebody's picture and a birthday in there. I think that's going to be pretty epic, and that's our goal. We're going to see how many years it takes to fill up all the birthdays. So if you have a very common birthday, you might get slid to the bottom of the list a little bit. But if you claim your date, you'll be good to go.
So just grabbed a calculator quick. That's 28 years to fill up this calendar. So it's already started. So yeah, it's like 365 divided by 13 is 28 years.
Yeah, that might be a little bit long for me. We might have to up that a little bit, maybe add 13 times 3 or something like that. It'll have something to do with 13, but I don't have 28 years to wait. 28 years, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be not riding motorcycles. I'll be pushing up daisies.
I was going to say all of us will be pushing daisies. That being said, we got a lot of birthdays to get added to this calendar. You've made some other changes too, though. So what else have you added? It looks like we got something new that starts January 1st right away.
Yeah, this really kicks off, and it's really special because we have a ride that kicks off on January 1st. Loco, Tim, whose road name is Loco, he reached out to me and wanted to continue on the honor roll ride of riding his motorcycle every day. So we've been talking about this for at least a month, maybe 2, and we just put it out there before Christmas that it was going to happen. And that is called the Locomotion. So he is going to be riding his motorcycle every day for calendar year 2024. And what makes it kind of different and a little bit special is, which I didn't realize when he signed up for it, he will actually be setting a record. Honor did it last year, and it was 365 days. Well, when I was making the calendar, I noticed that in February, we have a bonus day. It happens to be a leap year. So yeah. Local was going to set the record that can only be tied, never be beat. So I think that's pretty awesome. But I really think it's awesome to have somebody, another person that wants to step up and do this ride, riding your bike every day for a year. Still, to me, one of the most amazing challenges I've ever seen anybody attempt or accomplish. It's just amazing. And for Honor to be wrapping up her ride here on the 31st is just past extraordinary. If you think of anything you do in your life, anything you love to do, try doing it every day for a year. At the end of that, tell me how much you love that, how much of it was still love.
Right. And what's cool about Honors, and I didn't realize this until I was talking to her, that every day the ride was intentional. Like, no, I don't ride to work. No, I have to go out and I have to actually put on miles. Sometimes it's not many, but oftentimes as I started watching her rides, they were 2-hour rides where she was going out and actually going for a ride. That makes it 3-4 times as hard as just riding back and forth to work.
Yeah, if you rode your bike every day to work, that would be impressive to me. If you did
Absolutely.
That for a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
The weather and everything else. But now to go above that and beyond that and go for a ride every day, it's just crazy. Like right now, I don't feel good. I could physically ride a motorcycle right now, but yesterday and the day before, boy, that would have been tough. And I do not want, that's the last thing on my mind I want to do is roll that motorcycle out of that garage. It's just epic to do it. So for Loco to step up and do that, and who knows, maybe we'll get somebody who wants to do it in 2025 and it'll be an annual thing. We'll have a monster always riding, and we can look back and say, we've had a monster riding every day since January 1st, 2023. Every single day we've had a monster riding. That would be special and epic at every level.
A multi-year continuation of the honor roll.
Yeah. And it's so funny what one rider in Texas, for those of you who don't know Honor, she is a tiny little thing. And you look at her and she's just soft-spoken and super cute and tiny, and it's just funny to think that she is one of the most hardcore riders I have ever met in my life. That this little thing can ride like that. She is an inspiration to all riders, not just girls, not women, not whatever. I challenge any guy, any biker, of any member of any club, you try to ride like Honor, and then tell me that girls can't ride You keep up with her and then tell me that, there's no place for girls on the motorcycles.
Absolutely. And I'm going to use this opportunity because I'm sure you get listeners that I don't typically get to this show. Honor Roll was episode 36. So just a few episodes back, scroll back. Loco was the episode before that. So you can get to know both of those riders. Just flip back through the podcast here, and episodes 35 and 36 was those two.
And that's awesome. And to have them featured, back to back is pretty cool.
Totally by luck.
Yeah, totally random coincidence, but still pretty cool.
Yeah, good stuff. So January, kind of an open month. Not a lot going on till the end of the month.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on. I mean, it is winter for everybody. So we have our ride going on. But then the end of the month, we kick off our biggest bullying program we have, our anti-bullying program. That is at Gavin's school down in Schertz, Texas. So it's Pascal Elementary School. They're really, really a great school for us to go to. They embrace us with open arms. They have one of the fairings from Pearl hanging in their school on display. They have a lot of monster items around. So it's really, really epic. And we go down there. It started 3 years ago. We went down to educate the school on Gavin's condition and how he's going to change and how they need to support him. And it's really, really made a massive difference for not only Gavin, but all of the kids in his school that struggle with an injury or something that puts them in a chair or an operation. They know that the other kids understand that it's okay. They're still just kids. And he has a great time at school. He's received well. Kids treat him well. And not that that's all of our doing, but it certainly helps with the program. So this year we're going down with 13 or 14 monsters, the biggest showing we've had. And the difference this year is Gavin gave me a list of monsters he wanted to invite. And I thought that was pretty cool because when we first went down, I committed to going down, and I'm like, well, I know I got Hopper and I know I got Twister, but I didn't know if we were going to have anybody else on year one, which we did. We ended up with a couple more. I think there were 5 of us on year one, but just in a couple of years that we have 15. I could have 50 people in that gym if they would allow it, and if we had room for it. There's 50 people out there that would love to be a part of this. So I think that alone speaks volumes, and it's really cool because you're one of the people on his list. You and Renee both are coming down. So we have people coming from around the country to this. That's really cool. It's not just Texas people or people that stop in his house all the time. And we're going to go down to the school and we're going to talk about some things about Gavin's condition. Last year we did wheelchairs. I have some ideas for another plan. I think we're going to do some muscle related things, tug of war type stuff, and show them what happens when you have something happen to you and you can't use your legs to pull. You can't use your hands to grip, that kind of thing. So we're going to mess with the kids a little bit. And it really opens their eyes because you mess with them and show them the difference of, yes, this looks easy. Now do it feeling how he does. One year we gave the kids weights, put weights on their legs and made them run. And they just struggled with it. And I said, well, that's what Gavin does every day. Last year we had a wheelchair and showed the kids what it's like to ride around a wheelchair. I thought, this is no problem. Now they put things in their way and kids in their way and people in their way. And they struggle to it really opens their eyes to what Gavin goes through on a regular basis every day. So it's one of our better programs. We don't use it as a fundraiser. We just let people know what's going on. If they want to donate to help, that's fine. But it's not a fundraiser. It's just a program we just do because it's what should be done.
Yeah, it's great. I'm really looking forward to it. Super thankful for the invite for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. A lot of great monsters down there, and we have a lot of support, like I say, from the school. So that really makes it nice. And last year I left their school and I pulled my motorcycle out of their gymnasium, and as soon as I hit the outdoor sidewalk, I did a burnout on their sidewalk, and it's still there. So they invited me back after that. So it can't be too bad.
Nice. So that brings us to February. Again, that's a pretty clear month being February.
If February is probably the slowest month of the year, that is a month that I personally spend getting everything ready for spring, getting our merchandise ready, getting our gear ready, finalizing some rides. I'm going to be mapping out a ride I have across the country in May. I'm going to spend a lot of February getting the details of that ironed out. So that's really what it's doing, is planning and getting everything ready. There's a lot of downtime in February because it is the middle of winter, and typically I have a lot of snow here, and it's a good time. Everybody's cold and miserable by then.
Well, and they say if you want to plan, you have to actually plan your time to make the plan, so your plan is the most effective.
That's just it. The hardest part for me is planning when to make the plan. I have a calendar behind me. Last year I got much more organized. The monsters kind of blew up, so I had to get much more organized, and I'm glad I did, because we have a calendar on the wall to my left. Behind me, I have a list of things that we have to do. To my right, I have my to-do list of the day. So I try to rock through that and stay on top of it. Even then, it's just chaotic sometimes, and my brain just doesn't work as well as with the organization skills as like Mandy does. She has everything in a spreadsheet, and it's all just dialed in and nothing flat. Rides is kind of everything's category in the brain, but I can pull it all together when I have to.
And it works. So March, I see we got Daytona Bike Week in there. That seems like it's really early too. I think it must be the leap year thing, because they pushed that back. Starts the 1st and ends the 10th.
Yeah, exactly. And usually it starts, I think this year is a little odd year. It must be because of the leap year, because I notice a lot of the months are just odd. They have 5. There's a bunch of months that have 5 Saturdays in them. And I just don't remember that. Even next year, November is crazy. But getting to Bike Week, that is a great time. I've been going down for the last few years now, and I really enjoy that. It's kind of the kickoff to what I consider hardcore riding season. I do a lot of riding before that, but that's when it's like, let's get out and travel and go see people. So, go down to Bike Week. I plan to come down, hang out at your booth, and hang there for a few days, and then go see some of Florida.
It's a good time for sure. And it's the kickoff to Wild Ass travel season, after we go to a bunch of places before that.
Yeah, that's just it though. But that's how it works. You got a bunch of places to go beforehand, but that's the kickoff. I always get a kick out of that. You're traveling all of February and once in January, but March. Oh, now it's kickoff. Because the sun's shining a little better, so it feels like it's kickoff time.
Football gets a preseason. That's January, February, right? So
that's really what it is too.
Yeah.
Is the biker season? That's the preseason. You're doing it. You're just not doing it full bore, and a lot of times you're not enjoying it. I don't like to ride in February and March at all. I do it. I like to ride, but man, I get so sick of wearing heated gear and all the crap to stay dry. It's just, I like to ride when it's 85 degrees and it's too hot, but at least then you just find a spot in the shade, have a beer, and you're all good. There's only so much crap you can put on. I get sick of that.
For sure. End of March, I got nothing on the calendar, right? Nothing set in stone.
Yeah, there's nothing. There'll be some things coming up. We're going to, it's Easter. March has Easter this year, so our ride in March is kind of around Easter, so that's kind of fun. So each one of these months is just going to have a ride, and that's what I'm going to focus on doing, is doing some of those rides during the month, because in 2024, I am setting a goal to break some personal records. So I'm going to see how that goes. The last 2 years, I've been crazy amount of miles to start my year out, and then both years have ended abruptly. I crashed in 2022 when I was going to try for a ton of miles, and I had like 50,000 miles on in August, and then I crashed, or July, whenever that was. So I was really on pace to set a slamming year. Then I crashed and I hardly rode again the rest of the year. And now this past year I was killing it. I put on 42,000 miles by, July. And then I had a ticker problem, and then really didn't ride a whole lot after that, and took one ride against the doctor's orders, but that was out to your memorial ride. So I wanted to get up there, and then went out to turbo. So I'm hoping this year is the year. I got some lofty goals, so I'm hoping I can do it. So that's my plan. So I'm going to get riding right away early in the year this year.
If anybody can, that would be you.
I hope so. I've never come close to 100,000 miles in a year, and I would really like to hit the 100,000 miles. That's kind of my upper tier goal, but my lower tier goal is 80,000. That would be a record for me for the year. I've done 70 some, but so 80,000 I want to hit, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. If I can stay healthy and keep my bike running, I'll be good for 80. So I really want to see if I can hit 100,000 in 1 year. I want to join that group of people who have done 100,000 miles in 1 year. It's amazing to think how far that is, because I just looked at my map. I'm an old school dude, so I actually have a marker covering all the places I've went. Every year I have a map of that. For the last, 5 or 6 I've done like that. But it's amazing to me when I look at that map, how much United States I have covered, and that was 47,000 miles. So to do 100,000 miles, that'd be double what I have covered on that map. And that to me is amazing. And I think that's an amazing year. And I just go back to Hopper's ride of, he did that in 100 days. You know, I'm like, man, that's a lot for a year. And to think somebody did that in 3 months, you know, it's just 3.5 months. It just boggles my mind every time I think about it. And that will not be Riot School. I can guarantee you that.
That's a crazy amount of miles for sure.
Yeah, it is. There's a reason why so few people have done it, you know, in a year, because there's a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot that can go, you know, into it. And a lot of people have done the 100,000 miles in a calendar year, like May to May or, you know, February to February. But I really want to do it January 1st to December 31st. I want to say in 2024 I did it, not in February of 24 to February of 25. You know, I don't know why, but that's my brain that's how my broken brain works. You know, I'd be like, I can't count that.
Well, you get an extra day in 24, so it's the year to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the year. And that'll be the thing too. I'll do the 100,000 miles this year and everybody be like, yeah, well, you had an extra day. all the haters will be like, yeah, well, he had an extra day. So does it really count? I mean, are they really certifying that ride?
That's funny.
And I hope we have winter like we're having right now. I could get a ton of miles in on by the time January and February come. You know, I could have a bunch of miles in. That'd be great if I get 10,000 miles in before bike week.
Yeah, for sure. That would help you out a lot. Get a big start on it.
Yeah, Ken Andrews, he did it a couple of years ago, and he rocked out the first part of it. He was doing tried for that DECA, and you know, he had 18,000 miles in like 12 days or some nonsense like that. Just an insane amount of miles. I was like, well, now just casual riding, he's got this, you know, and he had all kinds of bike problems and shit that broke down, bikes in the shop and crashing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He still banged it out.
So cool. April would be the last month we talk about.
April is another busy month. This is the month that things are really jamming now because everybody's out riding. So we got a ton of things going on. April is the month that is for our boy, Jack Hammer. So he is featured that month, and that is the first boy to be featured, the first month to feature a boy. So we did that a little different this year. Last year, we had the first 5 months of the year were the kids. But we got a lot of people who couldn't ride and really wanted to ride the months for the kids. So we changed that up, and it starts in April, and then we go 5 months. So it's our busiest of the riding time we can ride for the boys. And we have the taco run. That's a Hokahay taco run. That's in Medicine Park, Oklahoma. We're going to set up a ride to that. That's going to be on our website. But there's a ton of Hokahay riders, a ton of people who want to ride in the Hokahay. And there's just a ton of long distance riders who show up at that taco run because it's fun. There's a taco shop right on Main Street, and they're just awesome how they support what we do, the riding and everything else. So that's where it's at, Medicine Park, and it's really, really cool. Small Mountain Taco is right there, and it's really hard to put into words what that event is like because it's like a little miniature rally, like a Sturgis type thing where people ride there and hang out. Except it's a little dinky town and it's condensed from 600,000 people to a few hundred. But those few hundred are all hardcore long distance riders. So like, you know, the elite of riders show up to this event. They ride from all over the place. And it's really cool because you can talk to people, visit, get ideas, poke people for, you know, if you're looking at how to do water, you're looking at how to do extra gas, you're looking at how to set up your bike, you can just look around that parking lot, find out whose bike that is, go hit them up. It's a lot of fun. And then there's some great riding around there too. And every year we go for a ride and Hop leads it. And we lose half the people because he takes us down dirt roads and they don't want to do that. But so if you're gonna ride with Hop and I, get ready to take some road less traveled.
That's hilarious. He's well known for the dirt road.
Yeah, and I don't mind riding on dirt roads at all. So Hopper and I get along great. I don't give a crap where we ride. I'll ride on dirt roads, dirt trails, through the woods. It doesn't matter to me one bit. So when we're going to do that, and I don't care, I have crash bars in the front and rear. Like, my idea is it's going to tip over, and if it's going to tip over, I like it, you know, when there's a lot of people, you know, around to help me stand my bike back up.
Yep, that's the time to do it. So that is the entire MonstercASSt number 1. Let's see. Let me get back to my notes over here. It looks like we covered all of those. So do you have any asks or requests from the audience?
Boy, the only thing I request is everybody keeps up the momentum we've had over the last year with sending these heroes your stickers and notes and things like that. It doesn't sound like much to send somebody envelope with a couple stickers and a note. Even if you haven't met the boys, we have their addresses. I can get you anybody you want. Keep that up because they love it. Turbo has his own show, Turbo Time, and he opens up his mail on there, and you can just see the shine on his eyes when he's, opening these gift boxes up. And, they just have stickers, notes, and things like that. So if I had anything, I would say keep that up. The boys really, really, really enjoy, getting your things in the mail like that.
Absolutely. And as a reminder, where all can we follow the Mile Monsters?
Mile Monsters Inc. is on pretty much everything. We're not super active on TikTok, but I do put some things on there every now and then. But we are on Facebook. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. We try to share things to either one. Facebook, in their infinite wisdom, made us start a page when we started Mile Monsters, even though I already had a group. So that's why there's two, but it doesn't matter which one you go to. They're all good. If you tag Mile Monsters, it takes you to the page. But anyhow, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and you can email me, but everything is at Mile Monsters Inc. So it's pretty easy to find.
Perfect. Folks, if you're looking for more information on the Mile Monsters, check out milemonstersinc.com. If you have any questions in regards to Mile Monsters, you can email riot@milemonstersinc.com. This MonstercASSt has been another episode of the Wild Ass PodcASSt. If you are looking for a guest or you want me to reach out and try to get somebody on the show, please let me know. And as always, if you like what you're hearing, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. You can follow the adventures on Facebook or Instagram by looking for The Real Wild Ass. Of course, I am Wild Ass Craig. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks. And of course, thank you again, Riot, for coming on.
Man, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I love your podcast. I love to be able to tell people what we have going on in this epic world we call the world of monsters. So it's really cool, and I thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.